So far, we have seen how to calculate the mean activity coefficient empirically. It can be done by either looking at colligative properties or using electrochemistry. For very dilute solutions, an estimate of the mean activity coefficient can be made from the Debye-Huckel theory. The Debye-Huckel theory provides a physical interpretation of why electrolytes are non-ideal. It makes the following assumptions. First, that the electrolyte is fully dissolved in water. Second, it's a dilute solution. So usually applies to molarities of less than 0.01 moles per kg. And third, the theory says that each ion is surrounded by an ionic atmosphere which contains ion of the opposite charge. So for example, a cation is surrounded by several anions, while an anion would be surrounded by several cations. So the chemical potential of this cation is reduced by the atmospheric charge around this cation, and the charge of a single cation is approximately equal to the total charge of the surrounding ions. If you make these assumptions, then it can be shown that the logarithm of the mean activity coefficient is equal to a constant divided by the dielectric permittivity temperature to the power of 3 by 2 multiplied by Z minus divided by Z plus. So these are the charges on the individual ions, and we only look at the absolute value, multiplied by the square root of I. I will tell you what I means in a moment. Usually we do the experiments in water. So epsilon is 78.15, the temperature is 298 Kelvin. In that case, the equation becomes multiplied by the constant A multiplied by square root of I. This A is equal to 0.509. I is called the ionic strength of the electrolytic solution, and this is equal to half multiplied by the summation of all ions, the charge on each ion, multiplied by the molality of the ion divided by the standard molality. So this could be, for example, for a simple system, divided by standard molality. So there are two things to note here which are important. First, if you have a solution with several electrolytes, all the ions will contribute to the ionic strength. But in this equation, Z plus and Z minus will only refer to that electrolyte for which we are trying to calculate gamma plus minus. Second, the equation can be used to calculate the ionic activity of individual cations and anions. And this you can simply do by log gamma I for the ith cation, and in this case you have Zi squared multiplied by the square root of I. Remember again that I refers to the ionic strength of the entire electrolyte. For very dilute solutions, the experiments which we talked about earlier and theory, the de-Broglie theory, agree, indicating that indeed there are ion clouds surrounding ions in electrolytic solution. One of the key applications of the theory are salting in and salting out. So the solubility of salts and even proteins can be altered if you add an electrolyte to the solution. So we haven't talked about the calculation of the mean activity coefficient when the solutions are not dilute. But for example, if you plot the solubility of a protein with respect to the ionic strength, you typically get a curve such as this. So at low ionic strengths, the solubility increases, but as you increase the ionic strength, the solubility decreases, which means you can precipitate a protein out of a solution by adding an electrolyte. This is called salting out. So this was a short introduction to the de-Broglie